everyone, and welcome to this episode of Open to Question. I'm Nancy Sarah Barakat, and today's episode will be discussing the topic handles how art can serve society. A gallery by visual artist Mohammed Bartash is to be inaugurated by Cairo Governor Abdelazim Wazir, Chile's ambassador, Princess Sofia, and Prince Mohammed Aga Khan, as well as a number of prominent figures on Tuesday, March the 16th. The show reflects on a poem by a Chilean poet describing the beauty of objects. Part of the income of the show is to be dedicated to the children of female prisoners society. And joining us on this special episode is plastic artist Mohammed Bartash with my colleague Nermeen Nazim.
Thank you, Nancy Sarah. Welcome, Mr. Bartash, here with us on Najib International Open to Question.
Hello.
Sir, well, there are different issues we're talking about, two main issues. The society, the association that you're in, which pertains to the children of the Women Prisoners Association, and also which is also an important part, your own art and your exhibitions taking place, your view on life and the relationship between art, social services, and culture,
Yeah, that's
or literature, let's say. So, what would you like to start by? We give you the choice.
Yes, exactly. You have done actually half of the question.
The association.
Anyway, yeah. Actually, it's not new regarding art and society, generally speaking. Art has been, through the history, is supporting the society everywhere. And I see that this is normal, that arts can play a great and big role in our society or any other societies, you know. And actually it's going to be our second experience here in Egypt with our society, because as you know, that I'm working for this society for more than like 6 years. And our President Nawal Mustafa, she is really dedicating great part of her time for the cause of the children who are living with their mothers in prison, which is really, we have a lot of sad stories that we are working to solve this.
How did this start, the idea with the children of the Women Prisoners Society?
Yes, actually the idea has been started more than like 20 years ago, as I mentioned, with our President Nawal Mustafa. And during her normal visit, because she is a journalist, a very prominent journalist, and during her visit to the prison, Al-Ghanater, and she discovered by accident that those children, those babies actually, are living with their mother in some unaccepted conditions in the prison. So the idea came out of this, and then she started to work, and then some other friends has joined, of course, the association, and there was one of them. I'm so glad to join her in this particular case. But going back to art and society again, we had another experience. It's been like 2 years ago, and it was not only me, with some other prominent artists. We participated in one exhibition in Sakit Sawi all together, and of course all of us were dedicating a great part of the revenue from this exhibition for the cause of the children and for, of course, the benefit of the association who is taking care of the children at the end.
Yes.
So I should repeat again that the art and society, generally speaking, is very interrelated. I don't see any separation.
Kind of separation, art, and you're living in a world of art away from reality.
Yeah,
and
on the contrary, whoever is thinking that an artist or art, generally speaking, is completely detached from the society is ironic idea. And I think all the artists in Egypt or outside Egypt, I think great part of their work is dedicating to society, whether depicting or reflecting ideas about the society on their canvas, or even to participate positively and in direct manner as I'm doing nowadays.
Well, this is the association. Does it have any external, let's say, relationships abroad with other similar associations dedicated to the same cause of children of women prisoners in different prisons of the world?
Yeah, that's true. Actually, it's been years ago, been trying, or the association, we've been trying to connect our association with others outside Egypt in order to exchange experience.
Yes.
And we have done this in France, in Mexico, in England, in some other, and even Germany and Switzerland. This is the latest country. We've been contacting some other association, similar association working for the same purpose.
What are the similarities that you found throughout your work for the association between our association in Egypt and abroad in different countries?
Yes, actually we have learned a lot from them. This is, I have to admit this. And we were observing the services that they are giving to these children, whether in prison or outside prison. Mm-hmm. And from these experiences we have learned, and even we start to apply some of these experiences in Egypt, of course. And this is very important, to exchange ideas, experience. Even they have taken from us some ideas as well, especially in the media. Mm-hmm. Because I was astonished, for instance, in one of these sessions in Switzerland, told me in Egypt, because I've been explaining our file, etc., they said, in Egypt you are more liberated than us in terms of media. You can show this in public. Here in Switzerland it's quite difficult. It's a very sensitive issue to show it in public. I said, no, in Egypt we are, in this respect.
In this we are liberal.
We are
like some
yes.
people would say, like,
yes.
we're not, but we are.
Exactly, open to the public, etc. So.
Well, before going back to more questions, I'd like to go back to my colleague Nancy Sarah. More questions on your part, Nancy?
Thank you very much, Noreen. Yes, we do have a couple of questions, actually. One is, why did Mr. Bartash choose the Chilean poet, a specific Chilean poet, to be the theme for his gallery? And another one is, what were the main materials he used for his works in the show?
Thank you, Nancy.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat again the
I
question?
think it's related. Nancy, could you repeat the first question?
Yes,
the first question is, why did you choose to embody the specific poem by the Chilean poet Pablo Neruda?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I got it now.
Yes.
So, yes, this is the idea, actually, to interrelate poems and paintings. I had this idea like 10 years ago in my mind, because I have some Hispanic background, I speak Spanish, etc., and I have some Hispanic relations and background. But 2 years ago, I started actually to work effectively about this idea, or develop this idea to interrelate the poems and paintings inside. So depicting parts of the Pablo Neruda's poems into the canvas, or to translate it into the canvas. It was not easy, actually, because first of all you have to read carefully the poems of very prominent poems of
definitely his Nobel laureate who got his Nobel
exactly
Prize
in 1971.
Yes,
that's true. And to translate his poems into art and into the canvas itself. Especially, he's one of the very, very few poems, or the poems that he wrote, is speaking about things, about objects that we see every single day, but really we don't observe attentively. We don't see the table carefully. We don't see the chair where we are sitting on. And the few other things that is really around us, but we don't contemplate those things.
Like he does.
Yes.
Or what he did. Well, we'll proceed on that more, but we do have, I think, more questions on your part. Going back to you next, Sarah.
Yeah.
Yes, we do, Naomi. We've got a caller with us, and president of the Association of the Children of Female Prisoners, Mrs. Nawal Mustafa. Very good evening to you, madam.
Hello.
Hello?
Good evening.
Hello?
Yes?
Good evening, madam. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So could you please tell us, how can art serve society from your point of view?
I think this exhibition is a very new approach in a volunteer work to help very needy people and very miserable children to survive.
Right. And what is new then about Mr. Bartash's show? Have you experienced anything like this where you've got a gallery that actually helps your cause?
I think this is a very new approach from Mr. Muhammad, and we appreciate very much his participation in our association. He's very active member of board in our association, and he tries all the time to help and to raise funds for our children who born in prison and who are suffering from a very severe circumstances. He always helps us. He always think of a new approaches and a new activities which raise and make awareness of the people towards this people, and I appreciate very much his work and his kind of publicity about our volunteering association. I hope this exhibition will come from people and look at this kind of activity in a very unique and respectable way.
Okay, Nawal Mustafa, President of the Association for the Children of Female Prisoners, thank you so much for joining us on Open to Question. Off the air, Nermeen, we did receive a call, and the question for Mr. Bartash is if he could please tell us about the prominent figures taking part in the opening of his gallery.
Would you repeat the question, please?
Hello?
Yes, would you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, okay, can you please, Mr. Bartash, if he could tell us a little bit more about... hello? Nermeen, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
If he could please tell us, Mr. Bartash, about the prominent figures taking part in his gallery.
The future?
In the coming gallery.
Oh, okay, thank you. Well, she's asking about the future in the coming gallery. We are now talking more about the future in the coming galleries.
The coming exhibition.
Yes.
Okay. My coming project actually is going to be in November next year, inshallah, and I'm preparing for a completely new idea. So I'm working on it since a few months ago, because this exhibition for me is already finished, and the coming one actually I'm working on it. I'm going to develop the idea little by little. It's going to be a completely new idea, depicting something into art as well.
Okay, let me just again, go back to explain more, your project, this time. This is a mixture between art and literature. You're basing your own painting on poetry of a prominent Chilean poet who is Pablo Neruda, and you have a Spanish background, Hispanic background, and you read Spanish, so you're reading his poetry in Spanish?
Yeah, exactly.
Before.
Yeah.
So, you're not basing, it's like, taking a poem and reading it and drawing accordingly, but you first were kind of impressed with the poetry, and you digested the poetry and really felt the need of expressing it in your paintings. How did you go about that?
Yes. That's a very important question, actually, because even the title of my exhibition, it's Ode to Objects.
Yes.
I have taken the same title of one of his important books published by, of course, Pablo Neruda, or written by Pablo Neruda about things or objects. And I included just one word, which is inspirations. It means that, as you just mentioned, was completely correct, that I've been digesting and reading carefully the poems of Pablo Neruda and trying to inspire those, or interpreting these poems into my paintings. So it's not only reading the poems, it have to have my own inspirations. And I have a very nice experience with a great friend of mine, which is Ruala Daniel. She is Swiss, but she is Syrian origin.
But, more important, she's a writer.
She is a writer,
yes.
She writes, actually, and she writes very well, actually, very good. And I asked her, actually, to write something about my paintings.
Yes.
I have not mentioned anything regarding Pablo Neruda. And I wanted to see Actually, it was like for me like a test to know what I have been inspired by the poems of Pablo Neruda, depicting it into pictures, and then asking my great friend Ruala Daniel again to give me her opinion of what she sees, and as inspirations from somebody is completely outside. And I found out something very interesting, that what she has written, if we can read some of her writings, of course, is matching what Pablo Neruda has written long time ago.
But separately, when they did not see
exactly,
how,
exactly. We cannot say telepathy, but we can say it is inspirations, of course. So for me, I'm so happy, of course, of the results, that it's the coincidence. You know, it's a great.
Which is a great coincidence, they just work together.
That's true.
Well, we do have, I think, more questions on the airport. So back to you, Sarah.
We've got a caller, Nermeen. Yes, hello.
Hello.
Your name and question, please.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm speaking.
Yes, please go ahead.
Can we ask Mr. Muhammad concerning the procedures of to be a member of his society group?
Right.
Definitely.
Okay, that's it. Thank you very much.
Merci, thank you.
Okay.
So, membership.
Yes. Thank you, Mrs. Sarah. So you'd like to be answering that. Yes.
Well, actually, it's very easy, to be a member of our society. It's a great honor, of course, from Sharif to be a member in our society, and it's very easy. We just, if he could leave his telephone number, we will call him immediately.
Okay.
And since tomorrow, he's going to be a member with us.
Okay. So our caller can leave his number, can call again and leave his number at the counter and the other side, and they will just be giving us his number, and they'll call him. The association will contact him tomorrow, and he'll be joining the association. Well, going again to your basing your poetry on basing your paintings on poetry of a certain person, you just a poet, that you just were impressed with his own writings of poetry, and that just affected you most. But why Pablo Neruda? Other poets, do you read in other languages or only in Spanish that you can feel it? And why Pablo Neruda alone right now?
Exactly. Why Pablo Neruda? That's another good question, because I've been going through a lot of poets, not only Pablo Neruda, a lot of